Joe Strechay is over there, who was our blindness consultant, and to be honest, it was an incredible experience. You know, we learned to work with different senses, we learned the creativity of what, you know, that would be like sensorially, and then it's also an imagination of what we would be like hundreds of years in the future. But it's more, you know, the show's not just about the practical elements of blindness, it's about the metaphorical elements of what it is to be wanting to be seen and sight and that kind of thing, of actually seeing. So that's really what it's kind of going with, yeah.
So if you were to lose your sight, what would you miss the most looking at?
Movies, but you know, Joe, who's completely blind, was our blindness consultant. Him and I have very, very similar tastes in movies. So it's one thing for me to say that, but then after kind of working with Joe, we have many of the same movies, many of the same favorite actors. So I kind of feel like there's actually a lot in vocal quality, and as the technology gets better, the audio kind of commentary that they do on film. So who knows? I think it's one of those things, if it happens, it happens, and that's, you know, then I'll know then.
Yeah. And did you guys do any fun things to bond as a cast?
Oh yeah, so many different things. Francis Lawrence, the director, took me and Alfre and Hera and a couple of the other actors to this like grizzly national park where we saw grizzly bears like right up close, and lots of stuff. And I'm really close with Jason. I'm doing another movie with Jason right now. Him and I got along really well. He's like a brother to me, so I love that guy.
Being a part of this project has been incredible. Like, it's so unique and the concept is so inclusive and amazing. So it's just been really fun, and it's just like one big adventure. My character actually has sight. I'm one of the few characters that can see. So I did go through the blindness training, but I didn't have to take on all of the exercises and all of the changes in the acting. So I was a little lucky with that.
Hypothetically, if you were to lose your sight, what would you miss looking at the most?
Sunset. Definitely. I love sunsets.
And has this character changed your whole perspective and life to any extent?
I mean, absolutely. My character she is like such a daydreamer, and she's so wondrous, and she sees every single beautiful thing in the world, and she wants to share it with other people. But I just think working on this show and working with people who are blind and people who are low vision, it just really, really opened up my scope of people and what they're capable of, and I was amazed every day and learned so much.
That's awesome, and it seems like you guys are pretty close. Did you guys bond a lot on set? Do you have any fun moments?
I mean, Archie plays my twin brother, we got super, super close right away. So we hung out all the time. We would play games on set. We just kept each other from going crazy in the rain and snow. So yeah, it was awesome.
We needed to be as close as we were because we really went through it. We were out there in the rain, in the cold. We shot like on location, pretty much outdoors the entire time in the wilderness. So when it got difficult, we needed each other to pick each other up, so we had to be that close. But it feels like a family reunion. We love each other. Yeah, we really do.
The show is incredible. I mean, first of all, it's I've got Alex Ponovic over here causing trouble. This is my buddy here.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Sounds smart.
So, sound smart? Is that my job? Okay. Well, I mean, the show is huge and it's beautiful and it's an incredible story. And you know, it had its acting challenges, and you know, I got to work with Sylvia Hoeks and Jason Momoa, who are both incredible performers.
You were blind in the show?
Yes.
So if you were to lose your sight, what would you miss most looking at?
I would miss most seeing trees and forests and the ocean.
And how has this role changed your perspective on everything?
Well, it certainly makes you more open to your other senses and open to like the internal world that opens up when you can't see things. You know, and sometimes I think our sight fools us. You know, they say seeing is believing. Well, sometimes maybe you shouldn't believe things. You know, sometimes your instincts will tell you something different, or you know, hearing slight differences in people's tone.
Working with Francis Lawrence was an incredible gift because I think he's just a visionary. He's truly a visionary, and not only is he this incredible artist, but he's the type of director that actually creates this space, this safe, gorgeous space where every actor can come and bring their best selves, and the work just kind of flies up, and you always feel cradled by that. And it was just kind of, it was an extraordinary experience altogether. And even the locations that we were on, it's God's country. It's truly God's country, so I feel extremely lucky to have been part of this.
It was a challenge that I really welcome. My brother-in-law is blind, and so I had a bit of an information about going into it, but we were able to work with movement coaches for 2 months, a blindness consultant, so many other people, and some of the cast and crew were low vision or blind, and so there was always somebody to turn to and say, am I doing justice, am I doing service, am I doing this truthfully to the world that you live in every day? And I think that was really important to me, to portray it in a way that was authentic and truthful and honest.
That's awesome. So if you were to lose your sight, what would you miss looking at the most?
Nature, and I think that's what the show really demonstrates, is that humans have done so much to the planet in the name of sort of advancing themselves, but when the planet goes from 7 billion people to 2 million people, the Earth has an opportunity to heal itself, to regenerate and rejuvenate and present its most beautiful side.
It was absolutely incredible. I am so grateful to be part of it, and I'm standing next to the most amazing director in the world. The project was just, it was super beautiful, and my favorite part about it is just how connected we are to the Earth in this version of the future. So yeah.
You work with a pretty epic cast. What was that like?
Oh, it was amazing. Honestly, Alfre has been one of my heroes since I was a kid, and when I heard that I was going to get to work with her, I was like, oh my God, that is amazing. She's such a veteran. She's such a generous spirit and a generous actor and artist, and I'm really grateful that I've gotten to work with all of them. Everybody's been incredible.
We were in the wilderness in British Columbia for 7 months, the winter months. So rain, sleet, snow, mud, bears, it happened every day, all day. When the sun came up, or before the sun came up, when the dawn broke, we had light, we started shooting. When it shut down, we had to stop. And no matter what weather condition happened, we had to keep trekking through it and acting through it.
So I'm assuming you guys got very close. What was it like on set?
What was it like on... She said, was it like on set? Oh, no. Oh, yeah, baby.
All right, sorry.
All right. So, yeah, guess what it was like on set? It was constant banter, constant bitching. It was so cold and crazy. But, we were determined to bring everybody along. So, if one person wasn't feeling well, we would ply them with oregano oil and lemons and ginger. I brought snacks all the time because the caterer always gave us things like pork pierogies, and he kept saying, actors don't eat this kind of thing. So I would always have chopped kale and things in my bag. So yeah, we lived like you do as in what do you call it, survivalists.
When you think back to filming, what first comes to mind?
Rain, wet fur. That's what I think of. Vancouver, cold. But at the same time, I had an amazing time because I haven't really been to the far out places that we went to on this show. And
Why did you want to do it?
why do I want to do it? I never read anything like it. By page 3, I stopped, called my agent back, said, I want this, and I hadn't even finished it yet. So when you see the pilot, which everyone's going to watch right now, you'll understand, because every department, when you read it, from the set design to wardrobe, everything is built into this world around, obviously we don't have sight, but it's so visual, yet we can't see, and everything's unconventional. And, when you're going through this lady having birth to this massive battle scene, you're just hooked. And I never really got to play a lot of this, being a father before. I haven't had the opportunity to exercise a lot of these moments I have on the show in my acting career. So we're just they're allowing me into Hollywood now. So I've been on the outskirts doing a television show, so now it's like
I don't know. It's nice to be able to. Normally it would go off to other actors, and I had a chance at this one, so pretty excited.
And your biggest challenge playing a blind character?
Well, I'll never know what it's like to be blind, and I just try to do the best I can to really to exercise and strengthen my other senses, because I'm going to have the lack thereof sight. So you learn a lot, and it's pretty crazy because you take it home with you too. So it's a trip that our vision is really sometimes blinds us. And the other senses, if you're more dialed in and you pay attention to them, they can speak very loudly.
And really quickly, if you were, I love it. One really quick question: if you were to lose your sight, what would you miss the most looking at?
Oh, my babies and my wife. You know what I mean? But I can feel them. I can see them. But yeah.
When you think back to shooting, what is one of the first things that comes to mind?
First things is a journey into something that I had no idea of, with such tremendous, talented people, and just wonderful.
So playing a blind character, what was your biggest challenge?
Yes, well, I think it's important to note that we don't know, like the actors of this side didn't know what it was like to be blind. But we did learn the skills that people use who are blind, and we were trained with sleep shades on, mapping the whole space, learning what your sense is, what sense comes out the strongest. And for me, it was very much temperature. I had my head shaved, and I'd feel the wind go over my head. If somebody would enter the room or somebody could come closer, I really feel it on my skin. Also because my costumes were very little, so it's freezing to death. But like it was very much a temperature thing for me.